Night has fallen over the isolated cabin you chose for your weekend getaway. Surrounded by towering pines and a veil of mist, the air is tinged with the earthy scent of damp soil and decaying leaves. You settled in a few hours ago, grateful for the serene silence that envelops this corner of the world. The only sound is the gentle rustle of the wind weaving through the branches, a comforting backdrop to your thoughts. The cabin, while rustic and a bit worn, has an undeniable charm. Its wood-beamed ceilings and creaky floorboards speak of years gone by, of warmth and familiarity. You find solace in the flickering light of the fireplace, its soft glow creating dancing shadows that leap against the walls. A mug of steaming tea rests on the table beside you, and the world outside feels impossibly distant at this hour. You take a deep breath, letting the solitude wash over you like a warm blanket. But as the minutes slip by, the quiet begins to shift, becoming heavier, almost oppressive. You cast glances towards the windows, the dark shapes outside seeming to loom larger as the flames in the fireplace crackle. Unmoving and silent, the trees appear to watch you, stoic sentinels guarding their secrets. A prickle of unease dances along your spine, a reminder that even the most peaceful places can harbor shadows. Your fingers slip around the edge of your teacup, searching for comfort. Slowly, you stand, drawn to the window, instinctively seeking reassurance in the familiarity of your surroundings. But as you peer outside, the unnerving stillness grips you. The pale light of the moon spills across the ground, illuminating the pathway that leads deep into the forest. Yet, it is not the darkness of the woods that captures your attention. It is the unmistakable sound of whispers. Initially, you think it is merely the wind. Yet as you focus, the voices sharpen into faint clarity, words teasing the edges of your mind, but refusing to form into comprehensible phrases. Intrigued pulses of dread ripple through you. You step back, unsure if it's your imagination playing tricks, or if there's someone, lurking out there. Returning to your chair, you glance at the time. It's only a little past 10 o'clock, too early for sleep. But the strange energy in the air grips you, pulling at the strings of your curiosity. You remind yourself that isolation can amplify the mind's fears, conjuring ideas from the ether. Still, the whispers linger, swirling about like fog. Resolute, you decide to distract yourself, grabbing a book from the shelf. Pages turn, but you struggle to focus, your mind constantly drifting back to the strangled murmurs outside. When the chill of the dark begins to creep deeper into your bones, you let the book fall closed in your lap. An irrational compulsion rises within you, whispering to go outside, to confront the shadows lurking in the woods. You want answers. You pull on your coat, draping it around you like a protective shield, and step outside. The cool air nips at your skin, and you shiver. All around, the world is silent again, yet the whispers bloom fresh in your memory. With each cautious step, you tread down the wooden stairs leading to the path, heart pounding as the surrounding shadows seem to stretch and breathe. You glance over your shoulder at the mountain of the cabin, half expecting something, to emerge from within. You venture onto the path, the thin beams of moonlight illuminating your way. The wind whistles softly in the trees, almost orchestrating the ambience with a rhythm only you can hear. The whispers grow fainter as you move deeper into the fray of the forest. You realize you may be searching for something that does not exist, chasing mere phantoms of the night. Yet you can't shake the conviction that something awaits. You press on, drawn by the haunting murmur of curiosity. The forest seems to close in around you like a suffocating embrace, branches clawing at your coat. The world behind you fades, sounds muffled and distant as you put one foot in front of the other, crossing the threshold between the known and the unknown. Then, as you round a bend in the path, you stumble upon an unsettling sight. An old cemetery, veiled in thick fog. Crumbling headstones emerge from the earth, moss-covered and tilted, as if they too are squinting against the chill of the night. The whispers climb again, this time echoing amongst the granite, almost rising from the gravestones themselves. You stand in the clearing, heart racing, dread pooling in your stomach. A sliver of silver light catches your eye on one of the stones, not inlaid or engraved, but something shiny and promising. Against your better judgment, you approach it, the soft crunch of leaves beneath your feet disturbing the tranquil quiet. Squinting at the stone, you can just make out a name, Samantha Hale. The dates etched into the cold rock are faint but readable. 1920, 1940. It seems impossibly recent in this forgotten place. You rest your hand against the stone, a sense of melancholy washing over you. Here lies a soul reduced to echoes, another story swallowed by time. As you contemplate Samantha's life, the whispers sharpen into something clearer, more distinct. You strain to catch the words on the air. Help us. They seem to coax, as if pleading for both recognition and resolution. You feel chill bumps arise along your skin, the grave seeming to pulse with an energy so unnerving yet compelling. But what can you do? You're just a visitor, an intruder in this otherworldly liminal space. Still, a strong compulsion drives you to stay. You can feel the weight of curiosity pressing against your mind, its gravity pulling you closer to Samantha's resting place. What secrets have lain dormant here, suffocated by time? Stepping back, you search the surrounding stones, hoping for others who might tell their tales. You trace your fingers along a nearby marker, barely able to read its weathered engraving, Joshua Hale. Your heart sinks as the implications strike you. The same last name as Samantha. Could it be a sibling? A spouse? Then, below Joshua's name, a deeper inscription catches your eye. Beloved brother, reunited in the afterlife. The weight of grief hangs palpably in the air as you sense their connection with every whispered plea. Turning, you feel an electric tension tingle down your spine, the hairs on your neck standing on end. You realize the whispers are calling out not just for help, but for remembrance, for a narrative lost in the shadows. A knot of apprehension twists in your gut, and suddenly, you feel more than just a spectator. You feel part of something expansive, an echo reaching beyond this life, binding you to stories that demand to be heard. But with this connection comes a dark heaviness. The stillness of the night seems more of a warning than an invitation. And as you lean closer, starting to mutter Samantha's name softly, testing the echoes of sound against the silence, the mist stirs around you, palpably alive. It rolls over the graves and churns at your ankles, seeping its cold dread into your bones. You shiver, instinctively stepping back from the grave, your heart racing. The whispers now seem to intensify, coiling around you like a living thing, stifling your breath. It's then you notice something strange at the foot of the grave, a small wooden box, half buried in earth and roots. You hesitate, your curiosity battling fear as the whispers beckon you closer. With trembling hands, you reach down for it, the lid almost cracked open. The box feels alien in your grip, oppressive, as though it holds more than mere belongings, perhaps even confessions, tragedies woven into the fabric of its being. You take a deep breath, feeling an urgency swell within the whispering air around you. With a push, you pry the lid open. Inside, a collection of old letters and photographs spill forth, disheveled and faded by time. You sift through them, your pulse racing as you try to decipher the stories, hoping to glean a glimpse into the lives lost to this cemetery. But what you find sends a chill through your veins. Letters fee, led not with love but fear. Fear of something or someone, warnings of an encroaching darkness. You gaze at the names, tracing fingers over each one. Another name catch your eye. Thomas. Phrases like, "He's coming for us," and "The light can save us," pulse through the fragile paper like blood from an open wound. You glance back at the gravestones, suddenly hyper-aware of your surroundings, the whispers intensifying to an urgent crescendo as the wind howls. A warning. The growing dread tangles with your thoughts. You realize, with sudden clarity, that the silence had been broken. Samantha and Joshua remained trapped here, unwilling or unable to move on. And now you are implicated in their story, an unwilling player drawn into a narrative steeped in sorrow and entrapment. A sharp noise rips through the night, the crack of twigs splintering in the distance. Your heart sinks as you turn, instinctively scanning the perimeter of the clearing. The shadows seem to ripple with movement, and deep inside, an unshakable feeling of being watched takes root within you. The whispers echo louder now, a mantra that gnaws at your resolve. Help us. Help us. Your instincts scream for you to leave, but fear roots you to the spot. In that moment of trepidation, the revelations swirling in your mind collide with real-time tension. You fumble the photographs, letting them slip from your hands. They scatter to the ground like autumn leaves, revealing a glimpse into lives you hardly know yet feel bound to. You bend down instinctively to gather them up when a chill breath of wind calls your name, only it no longer sounds like the whispers. You turn to see a figure emerging from the trees, tall and spectral, a silhouette against the moonlight cloaked in tattered fabric. Eyes that glint like obsidian stones seem to penetrate the very core of your being. You feel your breath catch, an ancient fear clawing at your heart. The whispers twist into serene murmurs, their intensity shifting from pleading to inviting, welcoming you to join them, to join Samantha and Joshua. You can almost hear the coiling of their lives, an invitation to stay, to linger in the shadows of their story, entwining your fate with theirs. The atmosphere thickens, and as you grasp the letters once more, the realization crashes over you that what you seek has always been a choice, a morbid, galling choice. As the figure takes a step closer and the whispers surge for dominance in your mind, every instinct urges you to flee back through the woods toward your cabin. Panic wraps around your throat. An overwhelming dread compels you to retreat. You are not ready to face whatever darkness has stirred in this ancient place. Yet the spectral figure allows a slow, hollow smile to curl across its shadowy face, as if relishing your turmoil. Stumbling backward, you feel the forest warp, twisting like surreal art. Suddenly, the scenery shifts. You find yourself at the edge of the cemetery, temporarily fooled by the shadow play. The laugh echoes through the air, mocking and taunting, sending chills coursing through your veins. With that motiveless laughter drifting into the night, you turn and run, heart hammering wildly in your chest. Branches scrape against your skin as you dash through the woods, your breath tangled with fear. You race along the path, your own footsteps echoing as the whispers follow, mingling with your heartbeat. "Help us!" fills the air, louder now and more insistent. You finally burst back into view of the cabin, collapsing against the door, lungs burning as you gasp for air. Slamming it closed behind you, you lock it tight, your racing heart echoing against the wooden frame. But the whispers still seep through the walls, curling around at the edges of your sanity. Uncertainty grips you. You pace the dim shadows of the cabin, feeling hunted inside the very space you thought would offer solace. The overpowering dread blends with disbelief. Could you have really wandered into a haunt? The fire fades, shadows creep closer. You sit in darkness, the weight of their story heavy in the air around you. You try to convince yourself that it was all mere imagination, some fevered dream conjured by your own psyche in the dark. Yet still, as the night deepens, you realize you are marked by the stories of those who have come before you, and despite the cabin's sturdy protection, the intertwining of history and past traumas leaves a lingering rift, a raw, jagged reality that maybe, just maybe, they don't want to be forgotten. You shudder and turn your attention back, avoiding the windows, your thoughts a tangle of urgency and dread. The struggle to dismiss it all becomes exhausting as the whispers rise anew, echoing off the walls. Fractured memories and fears collide within the silence, reminding you that even the most isolated corners of the world can hold the presence of the past. And with each moment, the sense of wrongness blooms, a note of disquiet strumming an ominous tune, lingering and alive. And as you sit there, encased in the awareness of their haunting plea, you wonder if you too are now bound to the stories that haunt this cabin of fractured pasts. What starts as a weekend escape transforms into an unending valley of uncertainty, waiting for a choice that resonates through the ripple of forgotten lives. With the call of the whispers wrapping around you, you realize your fate intertwines with Samantha and Joshua. And from the depths of the forest, as the shadows close in, you wonder if you have opened the door to a new beginning, or simply unleashed the echoes of an ending that had been waiting, unfathomably patient, for someone to listen.